walkers, crawlers, blood, guts, and all that is zombie. It's time for Tony and Josh to recap this week's AMC's The Walking Dead.
Well, greetings and salutations. This is going to be, and I just got to say it, spoiler alert. And if you're listening to this, knowing it's a discussion about The Walking Dead and you're pissed off about spoilers, shame on you. But spoiler alert, this is going to be for season 6, episode 7 and
episode 8.
Episode 8. Oh, time travel. Start to finish, and looking forward to talking about this. But first, much like the interruptions during The Walking Dead, I want to interrupt our show here and talk about Into the Badlands, Josh.
Where's my DVR remote? I need to fast forward through this shit. Kidding.
Well, I don't know if it's driving you guys bat-ass crazy, but good God, AMC, if you want people to keep watching your channel while there's not any episodes of The Walking Dead, I got an alternative for you. Keep making the episodes of Walking Dead. Come up with the money and let's have 20 episodes a season, not 8 or 9 or 5 or whatever the hell it is. But
no, I agree with you. They have probably spent an impacted assload of money on the advertising for this Into the Badlands crap. Seriously, it was like every single commercial break for the last 6 weeks had at least one, if not 2, commercials about Into the Badlands. And I have had it up to here with those commercials, damn it. And now they've tapered off because the show is into rotation and all that. Fine.
Really? They tapered off? Seriously? You've noticed them tapered off?
Ish. I am holding up what has to be the smallest gap ever between a finger and a thumb.
That would be a gnat's eyelash, I think is what we would call that. Now, I just want to, I want to be fair. I understand the reason why I don't like this show. I have never seen an episode, but I am never going to see an episode because they pissed me off. And it's not initially Into the Badlands' fault. I don't know. I didn't know about the contract negotiations. Maybe it is, but I think this is AMC's fault. Because they're pushing this thing so damn hard. It's like, would you like a piece of pecan pie? I love pecan pie. But if somebody keeps asking me 99 times, Aunt Zoe asked me 99 times, are you going to try my pie? Are you going to have some pie? This is a really good pie. Let me show you what it can do. It has a switchblade. No, I don't want any damn pie. Get off my back. And this is kind of the situation with Into the Badlands. I don't want to see this. And I want to say I have not seen it. And I don't like the actor who plays Quinn. I do not like him. And they keep showing him. That's a bad thing.
I look at it like this. A new show on a network is kind of like a dick. It's fine to have. It's great to play with even. And you can pull it out every now and again. That's all fine and dandy. Even, swing it around a little bit. But the moment you start shoving it down people's throats is when I draw the line. Yep. I don't want that.
Mm-mm.
So, I mean, come on. There's a matter of tact and a matter of a line in the sand.
Oh, another dick reference.
Yeah. And I'm going to hop over this. It's hot. Don't pull this out in the summer.
Is that getting my slits? No, you're not even drinking beer.
This has definitely crossed the line. And I've seen the advertising campaigns that are aggressive, and I get that.
Mm-hmm.
And I get where it comes from, and I understand how it all works. But good Lord. There is a volume knob, and there is such a thing as too much.
Oh, thank God for DVRs. I probably would stop watching The Walking Dead if I couldn't fast forward through this bullshit.
You hear that, AMC?
Oh, gee whiz. But I just want to mention, I did want to be fair, so I went over to Internet Movie Database to look and see what kind of reviews that this show is receiving.
This ought to be good.
8.2 is the reviews that they're getting. But through careful editing, I went through and pulled out some of the 50% reviews, written reviews, and this is just the first line of each one of these reviews. I've watched 2 episodes so far, and this series is just odd. Another person says, I get that people want this to be entirely believable and that aspects such as the lack of guns in a world where other machines exist appears to be hard to fathom.
Yeah.
And another one, another post-apocalypse show portraying competing lords noted as barons in the show with all fighting each other with brutal machetes. So
yeah, I'm not sure what other show that they were referring to in that regard.
Well, there's all kinds. There's
Walking Dead.
No. There's what's the the one Defiance. It's apocalyptic.
Yeah, I never got into that one either.
I started watching it on Amazon Prime because I can watch it for free. And and funny when you can just binge watch and you're not paying anything for it and there's no commercials, it's not bad.
So that's what it takes.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then one final comment here. Let me just start by saying the reason I was disappointed by this show is because it wasn't realistic. You have to be able to buy into the story, people. If you don't buy into the story, it's not a well-written story, and it's just utter nonsense. So anyway, and if I didn't already mention, I don't like the actor. What's his name? Martins and Csokas. That doesn't sound American at all. That's another reason not to like this. I just never have cared for him. I'm sure he's a wonderful actor. Anything that I see him in, I just don't like him. He played some sort of bad Russian in one movie.
You mentioned something about writing, and I don't want to get into a half hour on stuff other than Walking Dead. But that's really what makes this post-apocalyptic, possibly unbelievable show so much better. And what makes it good is the writing, is the production, is everything that goes into it. And AMC just did not put that caliber of talent or otherwise.
Well, let's be realistic. AMC is funding this. They don't have a damn thing to do with the production.
You'd think that they would. If they are financially backing this,
they probably,
in any way, and I don't know that they are or aren't.
Maybe this is it. Maybe they had something to do with Into the Badlands. Maybe the people spending the money couldn't keep their fingers out of it, and maybe the AMC people, I mean the production company that does The Walking Dead, said, "F you, this is what you're going to do, and you're going to give us the money." So maybe that's the difference. Maybe the writers and the Walking Dead people are running the one, and AMC's running the other.
Somebody over at AMC needs a nice kick in the junk because I'm tired of these mid-season hiatuses. Just when things are starting to get good, they throw us a mid-season finale.
Do you think we're not going to watch during Christmas? I mean,
which really wasn't that much of a finale to begin with. I thought there were several episodes up to this point that were much more cliffhanger-ish than what that was. You know, a mid-season, a finale is supposed to leave you so wanting more, like you're fiending for it. I mean, slapping the inside of your arm, hook it to my veins. I need a fix. Well, that's what a mid-season finale should leave you with.
Hey, maybe the writers and producers said, "Hey, this isn't a good episode to go out on. We had planned on going out on this one," and AMC said, "No, sorry, you need to do it now." I mean, that could have happened as well.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So, I did want to mention two more things that pissed me off about this. Number one, where they take, and we mentioned this last week, where they take the previews for the next week's episode and they put it sometime in the first part of the next show is what they say. You know, stay tuned into the Badlands and see the previews for next week's show. Well, screw you. I'm not going to, because I'm not watching your piece of shit show. You know, it may be the best thing since sliced bread and has an automatic selector on it. I don't care. You've already pissed me off. And the other thing that I noticed, because I was rewatching this last episode of The Walking Dead tonight, they don't have the Talking Dead until after Into the Badlands.
Yep. They're shoving this Badlands thing so far down our throat. It's not even funny. So yeah, now we're not only that, now we're going to take Talking Dead, the cherry on the top for this awesome show, and we're going to bump it back an hour. Oh, you guys want to watch this? No, you have to stay up till midnight. Oh,
guess what? I have the ability to record and watch shit when I want to. Good Lord. No,
AMC, and I've already been seeing a buzz online about this, and we're not the only ones that are bitching about this. There's a lot of, especially a lot of diehard Walking Dead fans who have blogs, who are, have large internet audiences and stuff, who are bitching about this as well. This is not going to go unnoticed.
So, I know there's a bunch of people that actors and people that are behind the background that are doing this Into the Badlands, and they hope for a steady paycheck, and they hope for a career, at least 4 or 5 years of doing the show. And I apologize to you guys. It's not your fault. It's not you. It's
Better
me.
not be.
It's not you. It's
saying.
Me. So, good luck to you guys. I hope in your next job it works out better, and maybe if it's AMC, you can say, "Oh hell no!" Advertise this thing like you would any normal show. All right, well, Josh, that's a good 11 minutes of bitching about Into the Badlands.
So season 6, episode 8, start to finish. They say multiple problems come crashing together. I say when it rains, it pours, and it certainly poured a bunch of bad luck on this episode.
It was just really Deanna that had the worst luck, wasn't it?
She was. Somebody did die in this episode. One of our characters, and not one of our longtime characters. No, this is Deanna, and she was the one who's sort of the mayor of Alexandria,
the matriarch,
right? And her husband has died. He was killed.
That family's had a bad run.
Good Lord. She's had a son or two. That has come up dead.
Well, one that was dead, and the other one that tried to kill himself by crawling across that rope.
So now he's the lone survivor, Spencer.
Yeah,
Spencer is the lone survivor out of that family, and I'm going to imagine that he's certainly going to take a turn after he discovers that his mom is now a zombie.
Well, she left him a note.
Yeah, she did, didn't she? At least she did that. Now, here's one thing I want to ask you about. We see Deanna's last moments, allegedly. She's infected. We know this. She's going to turn. We know this. Zombies are coming down the hallway in the room that she is basically determined that she's going to die in, essentially. Zombies are coming down the hallway. She has a gun. It's loaded. And she was saving that for when, after she prepares herself, she will take herself out in the way that she sees fit. She, has gone this whole way, doing things her way. She's going to go into it that way. She's going to come out of it that way. That's how she decided she's going to do things her way. And so she's going to go out on her terms, even after Michonne offers to, hey, the inevitable is coming. Do you want me to, do it for you? And she says, no, I'm going to do it my way.
I've never seen Michonne not want to do something so bad. And very good acting. Very good acting.
Definitely,
her face,
definitely.
You could see it.
Yeah. So, geez, I just brain farted on Deanna. Deanna decides that she's not going to use her last bullet to take her last breath. Instead, she's going to go out of this world kicking and screaming and taking out as many zombies as she can with her. And we don't see her go down in a blaze of glory. We see her basically unload the gun that she has into the hallway full of zombies that is in the house. And why is the house full of zombies, you ask? Well, that's because the fence came down because of during the attack from the wolves. They ran a semi into the church.
Yeah,
and the church steeple
Mm-hmm.
cracked and broke down the wall.
Church
and
steeple / sniper nest.
Right. And now Alexandria is not only without a sniper nest, but now has a giant hole in its wall, and what is left of the zombie horde is pouring into the town and is essentially taking things over. And so that's why Deanna, she got caught up in all that. She got bit. She's a badass, though. I'll give her that. She's definitely in those last couple episodes come around and really shown, gotten back to her roots, gotten back to that badass that she was.
She was very depressed, and she decided that she wasn't going to be depressed.
Yeah,
she was going to make a difference and move forward. And I think that's the same way she went out. Although we don't see that she actually goes out.
We don't, and that's what I was getting to. That's the point. So I'm going to ask you: did Deanna get eaten, or did she turn? Because we know that she didn't commit suicide. So is she a zombie? Or did the zombie horde sense that she was not yet zombie enough and ate her?
Yeah, they ripped her up. She either, I didn't count the number of shots, but that was a 6-shooter. So she had 6 shots. If she shot 5, she'd still have 1 for herself. And I don't know if we're going to see that or not. I would like to think that
we'll see any closure on that.
Yeah, I would like to see how she ends it. And
the reason why I brought that up.
I personally would rather see her. I know that it would be horrific, but I would like to think that I would have the courage to use my last bullet on the zombie horde and then fight them with the butt of the gun just as long as I could, and go out with my life, the life that was given to me by God, that I don't take it.
Right.
I try to keep my life as long as I possibly can.
Yeah. I doubt that we'll see any closure of that. But the reason I brought it up is because Spencer is the last remaining family member of that. I think that they could play the card of Spencer sees his mom as a zombie.
Yeah, could.
You know,
I would hope not.
And what happens because of that? You know, that is a storyline that could be a point of contention that could cause problems in a plot line, you know, purposefully. I don't know. Maybe he has a breakdown, decides to just say screw it, and you know, causes a master plan to go down. I don't know. I don't know. But I see that being a possibility.
In that scenario, she would have to turn after they started munching on her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they got tired of munching on her. And I mean, we see zombies that don't have much of a body, so it's always
either
possible.
that, or else she turns.
But it takes a while. They don't turn immediately. You know, I don't know if you've ever felt nervous when somebody dies. You go, put the knife in their brain. Put the knife in their brain. Hurry, put the knife in their brain. But they go for 4 or 5 minutes and cry over them and right there next to the teeth. Yeah. So it takes several minutes before they actually are reanimated as zombies.
Okay, so then does maybe she? Well, no, because she would have had to have turned fully. I'm wondering if she turned, if the body turns halfway through it being eaten, because it's not a fatal wound or whatever. She doesn't die, not a head wound, obviously. So I don't know.
What if the bite wasn't a full bite into the flesh?
Oh,
and the reason why she's feeling so bad is that she's PMSing.
Oh God.
She's just
Something
tired.
Tells me she's long past that.
Yeah,
to deal
I
with
know that was the joke.
Yeah. So, big question on everybody's mind: is this the end of Alexandria? Have we seen the last of this fortress that has been this town that has seemed to be able to stand up against everything else? Now that the gates are down, now that you know the townsfolk can't come together as a solid unit. Now that everybody's been dispersed, now that people are being attacked by zombies, now that the town is compromised, is this the end of Alexandria? I say no. For several reasons. One of which is because of some of the stuff I've talked about in the past, of being this following the comic book line. Alexandria, in the comic book storyline, faces a very large attack from the what is that group that's going to be coming up? The Saviors. This is how season 6 is most likely going to end, is with this epic battle between the Saviors and Alexandria. And so Alexandria has to stay. It has to stand. It has to survive. And I think that because of the comic book storyline, that's going to happen. How that happens, I don't know. I kind of gave my own 2 cents in a bit of a teaser from what I thought, from what we saw last week, in that we have this tanker truck full of fuel that could be used as a flamethrower, and we have Abraham with a whole bunch of rocket-propelled grenade launchers.
RPG.
So that's a pretty formidable force against a herd of zombies that could do a lot of damage very quickly. So, I see that being the rescue on the way, but I actually got a sneak peek of of what's coming up in the return of season 6, and this next episode. The 3 amigos, Daryl, Michonne, and Abraham, run into some trouble trying to make it back to Alexandria. They don't show up as easily as.
Well, wait a minute. You said Michonne. Michonne's already there.
No, Michonne is already. No, who is that?
Sasha.
Not Michonne. Sasha.
Yeah,
I get the 2 mixed up. Sorry. So Daryl, Sasha, and Abraham are on their way back, and they actually encounter a biker gang. This biker gang is, they have motorcycles, multiple of them. They're armed.
You gotta be badass to ride motorcycles in a zombie apocalypse. I mean,
Well,
with
they're
nothing.
all armed. They all very much look the part. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so there's about a 15 or 25, 30 foot gap in between where they stop and where these bikers are. And the head biker is calling out to them, come on out of the truck, and they've got weapons drawn and all this stuff. And he's saying, we're going to cut you in half. You try and turn around, you don't have it in you. We're going to blow you up. You come out of there, you try and pull something on us, we're going to slaughter you. So, come out nice and easy. And this character, this head of the biker gang we're not going to see this until February, guys. So this is a sneak peek for you. He thinks everything belongs to them. He's like, you guys need to give us your weapons now. And Daryl's like, well, why should we? And the guy's like, well, it's because they're not yours. And in fact, those floor mats aren't yours. That truck ain't yours. Those mints in the glove box aren't yours. Anything that you have is not yours. Well, whose is it? Negan's. And so this is the first we actually hear the name Negan, which is going to be this new supervillain that's going to be released introduced to us at the end of this season. So a lot of teasing coming up about this Negan character. A lot of character development setting him up as this super evil guy. So we have this group, this group of people, these saviors, who obviously are very well equipped. They're trained, they're clean, they're fed, they're armed, they have fuel, they have vehicles. These guys are no joke. This is to be the most formidable force we've seen to come up against our little group of people, our little group of survivors. Since the governor and his group, I don't even think they hold a candle to what these guys are.
So let me pull you back into this episode. I see one of the big discussions going on the social media stuff has to do with Carol and Morgan.
Boy, there is another storyline that is just plagued with questions. Where did all these trust issues come from? Why doesn't Carol trust Morgan? Is it because that he let those people go? Because of his belief structure?
Yeah,
Is there something that happened in a prior episode that we've missed or that I missed?
I don't think so. I was trying to think about that while you were saying that, and I don't think that other than Morgan being crazy in the last time that we saw him in that strip mall center that he had set up. Mm-hmm. I mean, that always makes you wonder about people, if you've seen them off their rocker, about, what's going on with them now. I mean, they seem okay, but are they really? And of course there was that Zagnut comment that, did you take my last peanut butter thing, which I thought was hilarious, but that showed a bit of craziness, and that could have been showing a bit of craziness to Carol, and causing a distrust in her. That's something that she was wondering about. And then, somebody's asking me about a peanut bar that I took or didn't take all those times ago, or I guess it was Michonne he was asking. But still, there's that question in your mind about, well, is he really fully there or not? He certainly changed from his crazy ways to this, tree hugging, save everybody's life, feeling pretty quick.
All lives are precious, yada yada. All lives matter, yada yada yada.
And I understand that, and I don't know that it's initially a bad thing to say, and probably not a bad thing for people to see watching this episode of killing and dismembering of whether it's zombies or live people. But somebody had put on there, what would you do? Would you? Well, frankly, Morgan needs to play by the rules of that group, and if he can't play by the rules of that group, he needs to leave.
Yeah, and I think that was kind of the premise behind the discussion that Rick had with him in that whole, we're going to pull you aside and we need to question you about your actions because,
well, it's going to get somebody killed.
Yeah, exactly. And it raises the question, if the shit hits the fan again, are you going to be able to step up and help out? And Morgan plain and simply said, I don't know. So, I mean, in that regard, he can't be trusted.
Right.
in the sense that you can't count on him.
He's not going to kill you, but is he going to put you in further danger down the road because of his actions or inactions?
Carol seems to be acting like she thinks he would kill her, or could, or maybe wants to. I don't know. In any case, she's really, really adamant about killing this W guy.
Yeah.
And I, after the fact, I'm all with her. I think the guy should have died early and often. But Morgan wants to save the guy. She wants to kill him. Now we have the doctor, Denise, who's involved with it all because, the guy is injured and Morgan, went to her and was talking about, all this stuff and trying, and basically Morgan wants to save this guy's life. He wants to bring him back to health because he believes that he can change.
Well, he sees himself. He sees himself from when his friend reached out to him and changed his mindset. He wants to do the same thing to this guy. Basically, the wolf is a pet.
Yeah, this guy is so far beyond being helped.
I don't think so. I mean, I think he probably could change. Is it worth the time and effort and the danger to the crew, to the group? I don't think so.
Well, now
can he be let loose? No, because you don't know if there's any other wolves out there and when's he going to plan another attack and come back. So the best you can do, if you're going to keep him alive, you got to keep him locked up.
Yep, and they didn't do a very good job with that because now he has a gun. Now he's escaped and he has a hostage, Dr. Denise.
Yeah.
So, that's a whole nother thing that's going to develop that I'm pretty sure I know how that's going to end. He's going to get dealt with. He's going to get shot. He's going to get eaten, one or the other, and everybody's going to be okay, at least as far as, he's concerned. So it's this other storyline, this other contention between two characters that I have an issue with, and that's Ron and Carl.
Yeah, I told you, man. He wants to make them pay. He wants to make them both pay.
Well,
but Carl had a great thing to say. But your dad was an asshole.
Your dad was an asshole. Yeah.
Your dad's a killer. Was. Well, your dad's a killer too. Right, yeah, but your dad was an asshole. I was thinking it. That's good writing. Whenever you're really thinking it, and then the character says it.
So, and I kind of did a little quiet applause, and I was like, yeah, good point. And really, it put Ron in his place because I don't think that he really thought things through. Well, no,
you don't think of ill of your parents.
Holy crap, my dad was a killer too. So now my dad, who I've put up on this pedestal, who I'm faulting all you guys for killing, basically, is no better off than where I've put you guys now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and here's another problem I have is Carl covers for him again. Instead of calling him out saying, well, yeah, he freaking tried to kill me, he covers for him.
But we see this with this group. I mean, Glenn did the same thing for, what's his name? Thank you.
Nicholas.
Nicholas. He did the same thing. This is what this group does. They try to save people. And besides that, how many kids are in Alexandria that are Coral's age?
True, and I understand that every gun-toting arm is precious when you are fighting for your life, and so you want to have as many people in your army as possible.
Right.
But you want also to be able to trust them, and this kid has proven that A, he can't be trusted, and B, he's completely worthless. As far as being able to handle himself or anything goes, so he draws a gun on Carl. Carl, of course, disarms the kid, and I believe he should have beat him senseless, but he doesn't. He treats him with respect for the most part.
And you can tell
way more than I thought the kid deserved.
And you can tell Rick knows there's something going on that he was.
I don't think so, because all of this has happened behind the scenes.
No.
Nothing between Carl and Ron has happened out in the open for everybody to see.
Go back whenever Rick hatchets the door open and he wants to know what's going on, and there's a dad look on his face, like I'm not really buying it that you guys weren't fighting, that you guys were fighting the zombies, and that's all that was going on. Why lock a door to fight zombies? I mean, why cut off your only means of escape? So,
exactly.
accidentally, it's like the the two people that have the affair, the illicit affair. Oh, we didn't mean for it to happen. It just happened, you know? Oh, you were naked and you both slipped and fell on each other. Same thing with the door locking. Somebody had to lock that door before the zombies broke in, and there was no reason to unless they were hugging and kissing.
So is Carl going to deal with Ron in his own way, in his own time?
I don't think he's going to do anything bad to him. I mean, other than he disarmed him. You know, he took the pistol out, pointed at his head and said, give me the gun. I think that's as far as you're going to see it. I think I think Carl is going to be trusting of Ron to a degree, and he is going to try to bring him back from the brink, so to speak.
So you think that through whatever means, Ron is going to change the color of his stripes?
Yes, I think that. I mean, if you look at Ron and you look at the wolf, which one is more likely to be able to change?
Well, okay, yeah, I agree with you there. I will agree with you there, but I don't think that this contention is the last we've seen, because Carl has already covered for Ron once, and Ron has stabbed him in the back. So Carl's now covered for him twice. I believe Ron's going to stab him in the back again.
Could be. I don't know. I don't think I would be doing that to a person that saved my life. Like when the wolves attacked and was getting ready to hack Ron up and do terrible things to him. I think I would just go off and abuse myself if I was unhappy. But I'm not the writer of the story.
So what do you think the writers are going to do with Sam? The little whiny messed up kid who's
let's not pick on Sam too much. I mean, he's a young kid. He's scared as hell, and rightly so. He's been up there and on the second floor living in his own little world because he doesn't want to deal with all this stuff. And he's immediately thrust into blood and zombies and gore. And he's told by his mom to pretend you're brave. I mean, slap him across the face and say, snap out of it. Do the Cher maneuver on him and say, this is real. You will die if you don't suck it up. I'm sorry. I don't like my son having to grow up all of a sudden, but if you don't do what you need to do, find it in yourself to do what you need to do, you won't only get yourself killed, you'll get everybody else killed. Trust me, I'm your mom. I don't want anything bad to happen to you, but you have to do what I say if you want to live. And he's walking through those zombies saying, Mom, Mom, Mom.
Mom. He's getting louder and louder. And you can hear the volume of the zombie horde starting to increase.
Yeah, and I just hope to God she doesn't have to do the thing like I think it was MASH, where the baby was in the back of the bus, and they had to the baby had started crying, and there was a patrol nearby, and the mother actually had smothered the baby to death, so she didn't get the whole busload of refugees killed.
Well, the needs of the many do outweigh the needs of the few.
But for a mom to do that to her child,
solid stiff arm to Sam. It's like, well, if you're gonna whine, then you get to get eaten. I foresee Sam getting killed. I think not. Sam's gonna get eaten.
This is this kind of realistic show, though. It's definitely possible.
So, I mean, they are in the thick of it. The guys have come out of the house. This group has come out of the house that is compromised thanks to Ron.
Yep.
And his beef with Carl. Which forced this group into the situation of having to basically don sheets covered with zombie guts. So now they're like zombie ghosts.
Which they've learned, because I don't think they used sheets last time. I think they just put it on their clothes.
Yeah, they just put it on their clothes. Yeah, and so now they did learn a lesson.
This is much better. I mean, I don't think they had sheets before, and I think that was actually around the time that Glenn joined the group. And I don't know about you, Josh, but I have to ask the question. If it's so easy to blend in with the zombies, why aren't you walking around with guts on yourself all the time?
Well, in Alexandria, you don't have to because you're protected for the most part. But you're right. Outside the gates or outside of protection, really good camouflage, good.
There's plenty of cannon fodder. All you have to do is walk up to a zombie and drag it off. And
no, but that also puts you sort of in harm's way with other people, because now you don't look like a human, you look like a zombie. And if you got a sniper somewhere, you could be mistaken for a zombie and be taken out.
Well, if there's trees and stuff, but I think that anybody seeing a zombie poncho would probably know that you're not a zombie. Well, and they didn't seem to cover their faces this time, which I thought was interesting. They didn't put it all over their faces.
You just need to smell enough like it, and they certainly had enough guts to go around to.
It took guts to do this maneuver.
Yeah, it sure did. Yeah, a lot of interesting stuff happening in this episode. I'm kind of disappointed in that it wasn't as intense as I was hoping for a mid-season finale. It didn't leave me on a cliffhanger as much as I was hoping out of a mid-season finale.
Yeah, the cliffhanger on this is what's going to happen to Sam saying mom.
Right. And it's like, that's not okay. Well, that's pretty simple. That could all be wrapped up very easily.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. I mean, he's going to get bitch slapped, literally. Or he's going to get a bullet to the head, or he's going to be given to the zombies. I don't think
time will tell.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we have a long time to wait because the show is not coming back until February. So, until then, you guys can, of course, check out all of our recaps on TonyandJosh.com. Of course, you guys can check out all of the show recap episodes on AMC.com and catch full episodes there as well. And of course, February, as when the show comes back, we will be talking about it once again.
Oh, and, just because The Walking Dead is not going to be on for several weeks and we're not going to be talking about it, doesn't mean that the Tony and Josh show won't be on as usual. So you can always bide your time weekly listening to episode. We'll be past 100 before we get to before the Walking Dead comes back on. So
that's right. Yeah, we'll have a little 100 episode celebration to deal with in between now and then. So hopefully you guys take that time to catch up on your downloads. And of course, all of our podcasts, guys, are 100% free. Over to TonyandJosh.com. You can find our entire show archive there for your downloading pleasure, including all of our Walking Dead recaps, 100% free.
Yep. Well, that's it. Sadly, that's it for The Walking Dead for this mid-season finale. And we'll be back with more bonus episodes in February, as my wife says, God willing.
See you guys then.
Have a good night.